Onigashima. I'm Jimmy.
And I'm Anthony, and today we're doing chapter 1146, A Stir in the Silence. We got Yamato cover story. I think everybody knew this was going to happen. Finally, the little culmination, though. Ulti seems like she and Pepe are going to become Yamato's scabbards.
Yeah, this is one of the first parts of the cover story where I'm actually a little bit more interested in it. I mean, yeah, like you said, we all predicted this. We knew it was going to happen. But it shows it's like, hey, look, Yamato is like Odin now. She's getting a bunch of like vassals that like they didn't even want. So, you know, basically mirroring Odin. I'm sure we'll get a few more chapters of this where they pick up a few more and then, you know, they'll be on their way.
Yeah, exactly. But to get into the chapter, we got Gunko. We got to talk about the stomp, the absolute stomp that she gave this part of the Straw Hats. Like, it's pretty bad.
I was kind of expecting it,
yeah,
but she kind of embarrassed them, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like every single one of them.
Yeah, dude, like it's bad. I really like her powers. Like, so I think that she was even underutilizing her powers, which is crazy because I think in reality, from what we've seen with the arrows that they can just like stab through people with like the giants and stuff, she didn't even use it like that. So it seemed like, at least with like Nami, right? What she did was she aimed an arrow, it looked like that, it pointed at Nami, and then she used the arrow's direction to direct her kick so she could do like a super perfect kick. So she's doing like no diff punches and throws because her arrows just like will always land their target, right?
Which is what she also did to Loki, right? Like, besides like she did it to like guide her kicks, guide her punches. I am actually on the opposite end. I still think she's kind of underwhelming, to be honest.
Oh, man.
Like, I don't think here she beat anybody of use. Like, I guess strongest person would be Jim. Okay, yeah. Jinbei would be the strongest one here. But, I mean, right after he got kicked, we really didn't see anything else after that. It kind of just, like, cuts away. So, like, and Jinbei, like, you could even see in a panel. He's still, like, kicking. He's like, confused.
Yeah.
But he's not like taken down or anything.
It's true, yeah.
So like anybody with like, you know, strong defenses can see it coming. Like they'll like Future Sight can dodge this. Like strong hockey can block this.
It's true.
Like I want to see her take on a top tier.
I agree with that. Maybe the offensive skills weren't as crazy, but then when USOPP gave that blow, right? Which kudos to USOPP, but it did seem, because what I'm saying, you know, if she's just throwing punches and kicks, she really doesn't care too much about. You know, she thinks that that's all it's gonna take, right? Like she's not stabbing with the arrows necessarily, and so she gets the hit from Usopp, doesn't care to dodge because she has regeneration, which now we know they have that.
Honestly, that's what actually makes her impressive to me.
Yeah.
Is being able to regenerate like the Gorosei, which clearly means all the Gods Knights are gonna have this ability,
for
right?
sure,
like
for sure.
We have to assume Summers and Keelingam are also gonna have this. And before, we were just able to run away from the Gorosei. We didn't have to actually deal with that.
Yeah.
There's no running away from this. Like, you have to defeat them somehow.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question, right? Like, I feel like this confronting of regeneration in like our scaling world, at least, like, that's the thing that makes them all powerful. Like, not only does the world government, or rather the celestial dragons, like think they're gods and like sit on the top of the world status wise, but they legit can regenerate. And we at like the whole, you know, we're 1,000+ chapters into this, we don't know an answer to something like that. Like nobody does. We need to figure that out, and like the Straw Hats need to figure that out before they're even ready to go against the world government. So it's nice to see them like lose here a little bit, you know.
So I think the caveat here is, before, when we were dealing with the Gorosei, we had to run away or defeat them because they were like so big.
For sure.
They were so powerful. Where here, I feel like it could be a situation where maybe they learn to restrain them. And if you could restrain them, well, the regenerating doesn't really matter, right? Like, as long as they can't hurt you or do damage to you, then them not taking damage isn't the worst thing in the world either. So I wonder if that's going to be their temporary way to fix this, or like defeat them, and then be able to later, you know, actually figure out a way to like get through this regeneration power.
That actually makes me think, like, so that's kind of a nice way to give some of the weaker characters a way to like defeat without actually overpowering. So like Usopp we all think this is gonna be his arc, whatever. He gets rocked here. I mean, he got a good showing at least.
He's got to get rocked before he could have his moment.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
yeah. But it'd be nice if like maybe he's what if like Usopp figures out how to bypass the regeneration by like capturing one of them or whatever. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
I mean, yeah, he could use like some of his plants to like entangle them. Brook could potentially use like his freezing powers on them. And I don't know where they'd get this in this arc, but like Sea Stone from somewhere. Like I feel like there's options. Robin's like Hana no Mi to be able to like, you know, grab them and restrain them. Right.
I mean, like you have to get past like I'm sure they have. I mean, they right here Gunko kind of displayed it like some natural strength. I mean, they all kind of did some display of natural strength. They also have the devil fruits. They're of this like certain level to be even like considered holy knights, which have to be like fighting, I guess, in some sense. Like I assume you have to be like strong enough. They tried to recruit Loki, right? And then on top of that is the regeneration. I don't know. Like what I'm thinking is like right now, these people are probably sitting at like first commander level. Maybe not like blatantly like first mate level, but first commander for sure. For me.
I mean, yeah, we see it here. Like the scaling, we see, like we said, she was beating Jinbei, and then we also see Summers like beating the fuck out of Saul also, who was a vice admiral. Like they stated here again, it's like, hey, look, this guy's no slouch himself. He's a vice admiral.
Yeah.
So it's like not that like most vice admirals, you know, we kind of clowned him last arc, right?
Yeah.
But they're not like in the grand scheme of things, they're not supposed to be slouches.
Yeah, they're not supposed to. I mean,
but is that going to be enough to make like the God Knights a true threat to everybody? Like I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like it's definitely a good showing. Like we'll see when the monster trio like gets really involved and like when Loki probably gets back up. Like I honestly like the food thing, like them showing all the like fat Luffy and fat Loki next to each other, because I feel like this is a signal to me at least that maybe Loki will believe in Luffy's I don't know, like thing where he can just eat and recover. So maybe Loki will like heal with this and then get up and like start fighting. I think that'd be cool.
And it just shows like giving Loki more of these gags in the last few chapters. Like that's what Oda's always done with these like types of characters. Like he'll make them really serious at first, but then later on give them a gag to make them more friendly and be on our side, be an ally. Like it happened with Robin too. She was always like really dark and like I was gonna say depressing, but I guess not depressing, but you get what I mean. And then later on she started get like she used that in like her jokes where she would use like the dark humor and stuff, right? Zoro was also like kind of scary at first, always serious, but then his like getting lost gag. So I feel like giving Loki a gag also shows like, hey, maybe he'll be an ally. I don't know if he's gonna join the crew necessarily, but he's definitely gonna help them at this point, right? Like we all agree on that.
I think so. Like I feel like it's gonna be a situation for me where Loki gets up and yes, helps the crew in some way or helps Elbaf, but he also, you know, did cause the fires and like immediately swung. So like I feel like
he was bluffing.
I think Loki though is like set up to be a character that is following in Rock's footsteps a little bit, like more destruction based. Who knows? But
I mean, we literally saw that right with the flashback. Like that's what he that's what he wanted to do initially, but I don't know if he's going to after like what we saw and how Brock's treated him, but who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, one of the other things that they talked about in this chapter, which kind of leads into like Loki's upbringing and stuff, was Summers talks about King Harald, and he was like, "Oh, you were supposed to be like on our side, King Harald," which is kind of what we were saying, right?
Yeah.
But it looks like this is a little different than what I was saying. I was saying like, "Oh, King Harald was working for them, and that's why Loki killed him." But now it also seems like King Harald like betrayed them after he was working for them.
Yeah, I think
so. Maybe he was like pretending to be on their side to like protect something else.
Yeah, I it's interesting because like King Harald is now this like half and half character where we thought like, oh, he's bad, whatever. Like Loki, I think this is a good subversion, honestly, by Oda. So the thing with King Harald is like, Elbaf can be either way. Like it makes me think back to the Mother Carmel stuff. Like what if he knew what was going on with the world government with Mother Carmel and he was like supplying these kids and then it got all messed up and now they're all mad about it, you know, because he's like, oh, maybe I'll sell these kids, but the main, you know, Elbaf kids are gonna be like in an academy. So this becomes like this new little like microcosm for kind of playing two sides and like the greater good. Like it's a different take on the kingdom than we've saw in the past with like other kings of the One Piece world. So I think Harold's becoming like a really interesting character, and we'll see how it ends up shaking out from here.
Well, what I think is that maybe King Harold, like they're kind of like twisting his arm, where he didn't necessarily want to work with them, but they were doing something to force him to work with them.
Yeah.
And so like he was like, okay, I will work with you guys, but also in the background, he's like, I'll do these things, but I'm also gonna make our like country weaker by making everyone pacifists also, so that if we do get taken over, if the giants do have to go to the world government, they're not going to be at their full strength, and they're not going to be able to take over the world with that type of power.
Yeah.
So,
I imagine it's really interesting. Like, I don't know how like Harald versus Loki like perceives that, you know what I mean? Like, what if they both saw that happening and one of them was like, oh, that's the right way, like, thank you for being diplomatic, Harold, and the other one was like, nah, man, like, this is a little fucked up still, like you're still selling some kids in
well,
slavery.
I would imagine Harald. I would think it's not between Harald and Loki. I would think it's between the Elder Jarul and Loki, where maybe like Loki was more on the side of like, no, we need to have like be stronger. We need to like be able to like fight them off, like, and be able to like defend ourselves. Where Jarul was like, no, like I'm old enough. I've seen the powers of the world government. It's impossible to beat them. We just have to submit.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure. It's we'll see how it shakes out. It's a lot in this chapter that really like gets you going. One thing I do want to talk about, going back to the Gunko stuff. So doesn't Brook say like, oh yeah, those are like the holy knights? Like he knows about it. Like we didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird. Like, I guess it makes sense that Brook out of everyone knows about it because he is like the oldest on the crew. The other person you would think might know about it would be Robin, right? Because like she worked with Dragon for 2 years.
But Dragon didn't even know until well,
Dragon
no,
knew about it.
He didn't know. He didn't know Emu.
He didn't know about Emu.
Right. Yeah.
He didn't know about Emu, but he knew about the God's Knights. So you would think he would have told like Robin, which maybe she does know about it also. But then at that point, it's like, I mean, and we say this all the time with Robin. It's like, why doesn't she say these things to the crew?
Yeah,
and
well, I mean, she doesn't say it because Luffy doesn't retain it. So she's just like, I'll just be the smart one sometimes. But she should tell her.
I think it's not that Luffy doesn't retain it. I think it's like, I think the constant excuse is don't want to spoil the adventure for Luffy. Kind of like what happened on Sabaody. But like,
or don't want to spoil the story. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, Brook.
Yeah.
Like,
okay, that's like the meta reasoning. Yeah, it doesn't want to spoil the story. I'm trying to come up with in-story like reasoning.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I want to be fair. Like the only thing we've seen of Robin is her like she hasn't really interacted with the God's Knights yet. So she could very well like when we all reunite, be like, oh my God, sorry, I should have said something.
Oh, by the way, these really powerful God's Knights can kill us anytime. But yeah, I wonder if this relates to like Brook's past, because while we do know Brook was obviously part of the Rumbar Pirates, a lot of people I've heard have been bringing it up recently is he did also used to like be part of another kingdom, and I wonder if that kingdom got destroyed by the God's Knights, helped them in some way, or just any type of connection where he actually knows about the God's Knights. Like, where did he get this information from?
Some people are saying like maybe he got like in the transmutation circle thing that he got summoned from at the time skip, that maybe that took him to the Holy Land first, but like
that would be an Oda gag, honestly. That would be kind of hilarious.
He's just like, oh, like I gotta get out of here, and then he just gets teleported elsewhere. I don't know. It's interesting because like clearly it seems like Emu has imparted these abilities to everybody. I don't know how like it really works, if there's like a whole other system to why all these things work. Like I don't know, like it's the demonic thing now. Like we don't really have like a standard for this so far besides the Gorosei, so it's a mystery we got to figure out.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely going to start getting it within these next few chapters, right? We're clearly seeing that the God's Knights are in action. They're going to fight a bunch of people. They all have their own selective mission. Even like Killing he's like ready to announce something to everybody using this giant transmitter. So I'm curious to see what they want to say to everybody on the island.
I mean,
I don't know if it's going to be something like submit to us. Yeah.
This is the catalyst for the big war. Like it's sounding like what's really cool about this chapter, I think, is that this feels like we're really going against some strong ass opponents that are in control. It feels like Water 7 where like CP9 just really outsmarted the Straw Hats, and they just like, you know, even if they were more powerful at the time, couldn't really do anything about it. And then there will be some kind of redemption arc where, like, you know, that we do go back and have these 1v1s, and where we face off against the Gods Knights, but in a different capacity. So
Which could mean there might be one more training arc before we end up fighting like the final war. But yeah, I do agree. This is like the beginning of the end, right? Like,
yeah,
this is where we're setting off everything. They're probably going to have to deal with this small conflict, but it's going to snowball into whatever the great end of the war, like giant literal world war that we're about to have.
yeah. Gunko said it like a lot. I mean, she had a whole speech in this chapter about like the coming of the Great War or whatever. So it'll be, stay tuned, and because we will, you know what I mean. We're gonna see this war unfold before our very eyes.
You know the best way of how we can stay tuned?
Say it.
By like, comment, subscribing.
Oh my god, that's not
You
what
guys thought I was gonna
say,
talk
bro.
about No Break next week. I fooled you.
You fooled me, dude. So, well,
But
I
also
agree.
No Break next week.
Yeah, no break next week. Yeah, it's been a little drought, but we dropped a video in the drought, and I think you guys should go check it out. It's a fun little what if. Let us know
Yeah,
if
it was our
you guys are...
100 subscriber special that we did a little bit after we got 100 subscribers. It took us a while to get out there, but I think it's a pretty fun one. So let us know what you think of this video. Let us know what you think of that video. And as usual, fight us in the comments.
Fight us in the comments, y'all. Peace out.
Peace.